Maddie, get back over here and do the review!
I refuse! I'm not going to do another MLP episode review! I won't! I just won't! I won't, and you can't make me! Oh! Felt tip pens!
Come on, you gotta do the review for another MLP episode.
But the copyright monster might appear.
Huh?
You know, the copyright monster! Whenever I do anything related to MLP, my videos get slammed with a copyright strike. I don't think I can take another hit.
What's copyright?
Trying to explain copyright would be like trying to explain the Brexit.
The what?
Let's just get to the review. You know what's bugging me about this show? It's that it's always doing away with any looming tension or conflict. It's either reforming villains or humiliating them. I feel that the show seems to be tying up a lot of loose ends, but also leaving them to fray. As problematic as the episode of Canterlot Wedding was, which this entire episode is a callback to, I do like how we always had this lingering thought in the back of our minds that the Changelings could return once again and start a war. That is still a possibility, I suppose. The problem though is that now with the introduction of Thorax the Changeling, drones are not so monstrous. It seems now that the Changeling drones can in fact be reasoned with, and do in fact want genuine relationships. This for me is a big problem. In MLP, the Changelings feed on love, right? They can't feel it. So why would one Changeling drone be different? Why is Thorax different from all the other Changeling drones? The episode really should have explained this a little better instead of just showing he was different because plot. The Changelings are based on the creature of the same name found in various folklore and folk religion. It is usually described as the offspring of a fairy, elf, or some other legendary creature that has secretly been left in the place of a human child. Now yes, in Canterlot Wedding, Chrysalis did replace Cadence, but that's not really how Changelings work. They actually replace babies. The episode did touch on the fact that Cadence and Shining Armour were worried that the Changeling had infiltrated their kingdom, and were worried that their baby, Princess Facehugger, would be taken from them by the Changeling, so it could feed on the love. But it would have been far more interesting if they were worried and paranoid that the baby had already been replaced. I mean, they were already suspicious of Twilight Sparkle, Starlight and Spike not being who they really were. I just feel that the episode not only ignored the traditional changing concept, but also missed a great opportunity to have Facehugger be more integral to the episode instead of just being there. Instead, we get a Spike episode which shows him discovering a Changeling named Thorax hiding out in a nearby chasm who has apparently defected from the Changeling hive, wanting to have real friends instead of just feeding on the energy of friendship and love. This makes no sense whatsoever. Spike becomes friends with him after Thorax disguises himself as a pony named Crystalhoof, and Spike shows him around the Empire, introducing him to the civilians while also exposing him to how famous Spike is in the Crystal Empire. But when it is discovered Crystalhoof is a changeling, Spike does nothing to stop the Empire turning on him because he doesn't want to jeopardize his fame, and Thorax runs away heartbroken. The episode then shows Spike apologize to Thorax for not being a true friend, and then convinces the Crystal Empire to get over their prejudice and accept Thorax for who he is and not what he is. An admirable lesson, but it was rushed. I feel that it would have worked far better if Twilight were summoned to the Crystal Empire because of the suspicion of the Changeling infiltration in the first place. That way we could have gotten right into the story instead of having forced expositional dialogue on the train. For me, it would have been far more interesting if it was Twilight herself who befriended the Changeling instead of Spike. The episode seemed too hung up on what Spike was risking instead of the actual moral the episode was trying to teach. Still, all that being said, Thorax was interesting, if a little depressing. I didn't feel any pity for him since he was so self-deprecating. I also didn't like that he could talk. I feel it would have been far more interesting if he was mute, and it was only Chrysalis the Changeling that could talk. The episode wasn't a fail exactly, but it seemed that the focus was on the wrong thing and the wrong characters. I feel that making Thorax a character that could somehow reform the Changelings killed any tension of a looming Changeling attack. Sure, that could still happen, I guess, but now we have this strand of hope that it won't. Because friendship is magic, right?
There, you did the review. And look at that, the copyright monster didn't appear.
Okay, Mary, I'm ready to record the dialogue for the new MLP review. What? Hey, thank you so much for watching this video, and before you go, don't forget to click that like button and check out some of my other content too. And hey, if you really like what you saw and want to see more, go ahead and click subscribe. Don't forget you can also show your support by following the official Mad Munchkin Facebook page for convention announcements, as well as links to my 2 online shops where you can purchase some of my artwork. Also keep an eye out on the DeviantArt page for announcements on when I am open for commissioned work. Don't forget you can also show your support by becoming a Patreon on my Patreon page, where you can win exclusive rewards like badges, stickers, discounts on commissions, and limited edition personally signed prints, as well as giving me ideas for what to cover in future videos. Thank you so much for watching, and see you again soon.